What is up, YouTube? James Ford here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting day for me. I've got a new coach, which for me is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but I've been a bit standoffish with it because I've not been very clear on my goals. Obviously, being a coach myself, a lot of you will probably think, well, why do you need a coach? Well, for me, it's more for the accountability side of things and have just someone like an eye looking over me in a way that I don't look over myself like I look over my other clients, basically. So I'm really, really excited. So I'll run over who my new coach is soon, like when I get to the gym. Today's gonna be the first session on the new program. Now, my goals at the moment are to bring up mainly my upper body. So more of like a men's physique split because I've got quite dominant legs. My upper body has been coming up over the last year, but like I just want it to explode basically. So this workout split that I'm running has been designed to bring up my chest, my shoulders, my arms, basically all the things that most beginners want to grow, so it's like, you want a big chest, you want big shoulders, you want big arms. So most of you watching this split's probably going to be very, very appealing to you because it's what most people kind of want to grow. Not that many people are too worried about having huge legs, although they should be, or growing their legs, although they should be. But it's gonna be quite exciting. So heading to the gym now. I've got my pre-workout going in. I'll be taking you guys through the split, why I think we've got certain things in the plan. We've literally just been given it, so he's not ran through exactly why we do certain things in the plan, but I've got a good idea as to why certain things are placed in certain places. With today's push, which is going to be chest, shoulders and triceps, I haven't ran a push day in a while because I've been breaking up into individual body parts, but the program that he's written for me looks very up my street, so I'm kind of excited to take you guys through and show you what we're working with. So catch you guys at the gym. So guys, we're now at the gym, and before I get stuck in, I thought this would be a good time to kind of touch on who my coach is, why I've gone with him. You may know him, you may not. His name is Josh Bridgman. He's someone I've looked up to a lot since my early years, so I've been following him since I was probably about 16, 17 years now, probably about 18 years old to be fair. So about 8 years now, and I've watched this come up from obviously, natural bodybuilder all the way up to IFBB pro, and now obviously going for like his Olympia. He's not on the Olympia stage, but that's his goal now, is to get onto the Olympia stage. And I've learned a hell of a lot from him, indirectly from his content and things like that through the years. So for me, he's someone who was always on the front of my mind. I also got a session in with him while I was living in Houston. So I ran into him in Houston, managed to get a session in, and he's just such a top bloke. So for me, it was quite an easy decision. In regards to my plans right now, current weight's 101 kilograms. So that's the weight I went to Josh at. The goal is to build. He's also smarter than me. So it's like having someone above where I'm at, it's only going to yield better results for me. I always preach environment, I always preach, surrounding yourself with people who are ahead of you. And this is one way that you can now surround yourself with someone who is ahead of you without even being in the same country as someone. So the push session today, it's more chest focused, so I'll kind of walk you through things. The gym I train at is brilliant, but it's quite limited, so it's going to have to be built around that. And up first, we have dumbbell side raises, so side laterals to hit my side delts. We've got 3 sets on that in the 10 to 15 rep range. I actually always start my push sessions or a shoulder session with dumbbell laterals anyway, so perfect for me. Watch my Instagram videos and you see my workouts, you'll know that as well. And it's just brilliant for just warming up the delts. It's also something where it's not going to be massively fatiguing for the bigger compound lifts. So placing this first, it's sometimes a good decision. So let's get stuck in. So guys, I'll always start every exercise with a few warm-ups. So the whole idea of our training is progressive overload. We want to see progress on a week to week. So today is primarily going to be about setting base numbers. So I want to be setting the numbers that I'm going to be eating on the following weeks. Today I'm going to start with a couple of 7.5 kilos, warm up on these, and then I'll get into my top sets. We've done 2 warm-up sets. We're now going to jump into top set. I'm going to do 12.5 kilograms to start. I'm not someone who ever goes crazy. I've got like shitty side delt strength. So for me, I never go crazy heavy on this, but we're going to start on 12.5s. The rep ranges are 10 to 15. So what I'm trying to do here is find a weight where I physically fail within that 10 to 15 rep range. So let's say I get 12.5 kilograms for 12 reps. Next week I'll come back and I'll try and get for 13, 14, 15. When I'm at the top of the rep range, we can increase the weight. This is a way that we can progressively overload every single week. Oh, so we took it to 15. There was a few extras on there, but I'm not going to count them. And it's important that if you're tracking your lifts, if they go to shit at the end and you carry on, you don't track those last few. So like, I would say I probably got 18 there, but the reality is those last 3 were like half reps. So I'll track 15. So that means I'm at the top of the rep range anyway. So next week it means that for that first set on dumbbell laterals, I'll probably go up to 15 kilograms and see if I can fall within that 10 to 15 rep range there. We've got 2 more sets on this, both in the 10 to 15. So I might do 1 more set in the 12.5, and then that third set I'll probably drop down to a 10, just so I can stay within that rep range. So guys, that's 3 sets on double lateral raise. This first set, 12.5 for 15, second set 12.5 for 13, third set 10 kilograms for 15. Next up we've got a pec deck fly, so let's get in. So guys, up next we have a pec deck fly. Now I assume he's putting this first so that we can just drive a bit of blood into the chest before we go into our big press in. Once again, it's something that I tend to do on my chest days. I always start with a fly, then I go into my press in, then I go into like another fly afterwards. That's generally how I go, but now that we're condensing it into a push, so we've done obviously the dumbbell laterals, it's going to fire up your side delts, get a bit of blood flowing, going on to the pec deck fly, which is going to drive a bit more blood into your chest. And if you've not tried doing this first, give it a try on your next push day, like your next chest day, whatever it may be. Like, do an isolation movement before you go into your press in. You may find that you like it, you may not, but that's why it's good to try these things. But we've got 2 sets of this rather than 3, both in the 10 to 15 rep range. We're not doing any intensifiers like rest pauses or drop sets today. Josh was saying, like, we're just going to start off with like a minimal effective volume. So like, start with a low volume, and then as we gauge feedback from training on the weeks, we can increase the volume. So start to add in rest pauses, start to add in drop sets, start to add in extra sets if we feel we can handle the volume. But I'm going to do a warm up on this now, then we're going to run into 2 sets of the 10 to 15. Too light. We're going to try the full stack. I feel like I can get the full stack for 10 to 15. If that is the case, it just means I've got our attached plates to it next week. I may be overshooting here, but that first rep felt really light. So guys, that was a full stack for 15 and then like a half rep, so we'll count 15. So for the second set, because it's 2 sets of 10 to 15, we'll roll again with a full stack, so literally the full stack. Next week it just basically means I'm going to have to attach weight plates to it, but that's absolutely fine. So guys, that's exercise number 2 done. We're now going to be moving on to our pressing movements, so the bread and butter, the fun stuff. And first up we have, it said Prime Incline. I told him we have a Prime Incline. It's like Prime's a brand. This isn't technically Prime, but it's like a knockoff of Prime. So it's just like basically an incline chest press machine. We just got 2 sets, one in the 8 to 12, second one in the 8 to 12. So basically 2 sets in the 8 to 12 rep range. Once again guys, just bringing this to failure. So the way that we train is progressive overload, and what progressive overload is progressing in some form, shape or way every time we go into the gym, which could be either adding a small amount of weight, adding a rep, or improving form. So just improving like the execution of the movement. Now if every time you go into the gym you're able to make some slight improvement to some or all of your exercises, so long as you're eating correctly outside of the gym, you will adapt and grow. This is how we grow. A lot of people get confused and they think, okay, I need to go into the gym and shock the muscle every week by just mixing things up, changing exercise, chopping and changing. Whereas if you can just stick to a program week after week, but see progression on a week-to-week basis, because that way you can actually track and measure your progression. So next week when I come in, I'm going to know what I did this week and I know what I need to do next week in order to make that progression. I need to either add a rep, add some weight, or improve that form. And so long as I do that, I'm going to grow. So rather than chopping and changing your workouts, my biggest piece of advice is write something down, stick to it, and progress it on a week-to-week basis. But for this set here, I'm going to do a couple of warm-ups. So we'll go 1 plate, 2 plate. I don't know how heavy I'm going to go, so maybe we'll go up to 3 plates, and then we'll get straight into it. Two felt pretty easy, so we'll go 3 for a warm-up, and then we may go a little bit heavier for the top set, but we'll see how this 3 feels. Fuck, that was a big jump from 2 to 3. I may stick on 3 for that top set and just see if I can get in that 8 to 12. I'm a little worried I may overshoot here because 3 plates then felt really fucking heavy, so we've got to get at least 8 reps. Ideally we want to fail within that 8 to 12 rep range, so see how we go. 3, 2, 1, up. Yep, yep mate, thanks man. Oh, just got 8. Oh, fucking take it. 8 reps on that, which means that next week we've got that to beat. So, like I said, the way that we run, we now log that. Next week I'll come in, I'll see that last week being this week. I got 60 kilos aside for 8 reps. We'll try and get 9 next week. When we eventually get 12, being at the top of the rep range, I'll add a small amount of weight, which will probably literally be like 2.5 or 5 kilograms per side. You know, a lot of people try and make these huge jumps on a week-to-week basis. If you can just drop that ego and just think, okay, rather than trying to add a 10 kilogram plate to my already struggling lift or like whatever it may be, just add a 2.5 kilogram plate. Over time they compound. If you can add 2.5 kilograms to, you know, your bench press every single week, if you can add a kilogram to your bench press every single week, that's 50 kilograms in a year, you know. So a lot of people get caught up in trying to do these real big jump ups in strength or like, you know, chucking on too much weight on a week-to-week basis. But if you can see that small incremental gain on a week-to-week basis, how big that can equal over a time frame, then hopefully you can start to see progress in a different sort of way. So keep things slow, progress on a week-to-week, but don't make too big jumps. Now we're going to drop down to 2.5 20 kilo plates per side, so 50 kilogram per side once again in the 8 to 12. So let's see what we can get. Feeling good about this program though, already feeling good, and it's nice to be tracking my lifts again because it's something I've not done in a little while. And I know how much progress you can make from tracking on a week-to-week basis. So having this in play is going to be fucking golden. we'll take that. So up next, we've got a cable D-handle chest press. So a lot of you may not have seen this variation of a chest press before, but because we're a bit limited in this gym, once again, like we're trying to make the most of what we've got, this is something that we can do on pretty much any gym. And it's a really good movement because the cables are going to keep that constant tension on your chest. And everyone's got a bench and a set of cables, unless you're at some gym that doesn't for some reason. But we've got 2 sets on this, once again, 10 to 15, 10 to 15. So let's see how we go. I've just done a few warm-up sets, by the way, so I'm not just jumping straight into this. The way that we warm up, basically the idea of the warm-up sets are to maximize our readiness for the set, but to minimize the amount of fatigue that we occur during the warm-up. So basically what we're trying to do is make sure that when we pick up that top set, it's like our big first heavy set, we want to make sure that we're as ready as possible to do the best that we possibly can, meaning that we've worked up the weight slowly, we've got a bit of blood flow, we've gone through the movement pattern, so that now we've done this movement maybe like 10 reps already by the time I've done, you know, one warm-up set, maybe like 5 reps, second warm-up set with like another few reps, whatever it may be. We've worked up the weight, so the weight's not going to feel crazy heavy. We've found the weight that we want to get, and now we're ready to go. So very ready to do this set, but still not accrued any fatigue from those warm-ups. We're going to go for 55 kilograms. We've got a 10 to 15. Getting out of this one is a little bit of a bitch. I feel like it's a little bit strenuous on the elbows if you're not careful. So go one at a time. But you see here, guys, what we're doing, we basically just got the cable sat on my forearm. It's almost like in a press movement. Now it's not a fly, it's a press. Oh, perfect, 10 reps. That felt really, really good. So, as I said, guys, next week, now we just got to get 11 reps. So, I've done really well, to be fair, to fall within the rep range. Like, I've done a real good good go at gauging the reps this week. So next week, it's going to be able to come in. I know what I need to do, and we can start to progress from there. Like I said, you do this week after week, you get very good and very strong at all the movements in your program. Start of set number 2. We put it down 2 pins, we got 12. So once again, in the rep range. I think we've just got triceps next. So guys, I was wrong. I thought we had triceps next, but it turns out we have biceps. We're doing shoulders, chest. It's only a small amount of shoulders today, mainly chest, and then biceps to finish off. Tomorrow we've got pull, which actually has triceps on it, which is kind of nice because it means my buys are fresh. They're not fatigued from doing like a back session. He's putting a preacher curl. I can machine one. I've not got one in this gym, like I said, it's quite basic. So I'm running an easy bar cable curl. I've just done my first set. I've got 3 sets in the 10 to 15. I've got 12 on my first set, so I'm going to lower it for the second set and then see if I can match that 10 to 15 rep range. I don't know about you guys, arms is meant to be like this easy muscle group to train, but for me, every time I train bicep, it feels like my fucking head is going to explode. But I like it. It's like I think it's one of the most like systematically fatiguing body parts you can train, but it always feels good. So managed to hit 10, which is perfect. So we fell in the rep range. Next week we progress. I got 1 more set on this one, which will once again be in a 10 to 15, and then we've got a cable curl standing away from the stack of the cables, which I'll explain why we do that at the end now. So guys, last exercise is going to be a bicep curl, but on a cable stack, dual arm, facing away from the stack. So the reason we're going to do it like this, as opposed to just doing like a normal cable curl, which is what I did obviously with the easy bar, it's going to challenge your bicep in the length and range. Now, as we get deeper and deeper into a workout, we retain more strength in the length and range, which for a bicep is down here, yeah, like that short. bicep or any muscle group will fatigue more in the shortened range than it will in the lengthened, which means we should technically be holding a little bit more strength in that lengthened range than we will be in the shortened range now, being it our second exercise. So with this being placed at the end, it just means that we should, in theory, be able to fatigue that lengthened range of the bicep, as we've already fatigued that shortened range. And the reason why this exercise is so good for that is because we're stretched out. So it's going to challenge your bicep in the lengthened range. The most force is on that muscle group when your arm is at a 90-degree angle to the cable. So like if I was doing a cable just like this is going to be where there's the most force through my bicep when I'm at that 90-degree plane. From stepping forward, the 90-degree plane is now about there. So that lengthened range is going to be the most heavily loaded part of the movement, and it's going to drop off ever so slightly as we curl up. So it's going to match the strength curve with almost like the fatigue profile of like where we are at in the workout. Oh, 15. That's one of those exercises. Felt really easy at the beginning. I thought I'd gone too light. Then you get to like rep 10 and it's like, fuck, this is quite hard. We've got one more set on this and we're done. Done. So guys, that concludes the first workout of my new program, and to be honest, I really enjoyed it. It's nice to have some proper structure again. This week, like I said, it's all about setting those base numbers. So as of next week, apologies for lighting, by the way, I'm like proper half in, half out the light. Next week it will be more, I have those numbers and we can actually build up from them. So I know exactly what I need to do on a week-to-week basis in order to progress. And that's why I'm such an advocate for progressing your lifts. But I'm gonna wrap this one up here, guys. I hope you all took some value from this video. If you did, make sure you hit that sub button so you never miss another video. Most of you guys that watch do not subscribe and it breaks my heart. So hit that sub button and I'll catch you guys in the next video.